Hello everybody and welcome to another community fortress. This is the fortress of Ashenangel, and this was sent in on the Discord by Svengali. Some of you may have noticed that there was kind of a break in these, and that's because, one, I went camping, and two, there was a lot of other things I needed to make. I had to make a Future of the Fortress video, I had to make a DF News video, and there's going to be some other things that are going to be coming out soon that might be kind of interesting. So, let's just say that this got put on hold for a couple of days, and now we're diving back into these. There's going to be a bunch of these over the next few days, so if you like them, strap in. If you would like to send in a fortress for me to have a look at on this show, just like Svengali did, you can go down to the link in the description to the Discord server where there is a DF Save sharing room. Of course, all the downloads and links for all of these fortresses are also available there if you would like to grab them and take a look at them yourself, as well as some people have been posting some 3D renders of some of the forts, which have been kind of fun. I did a video a couple of weeks ago on Voxuristi, which is a Magic of Voxel export tool. Now, I don't know how Magic of Voxel works at all, so it's honestly kind of lost on me. However, some people have some talent with that stuff and have been sharing some renders, so I do recommend checking out the Discord regardless. Now, let's just dive into this fortress. So this here surface fort was very kindly sent in by Svengali when I put out the initial help. I need more forts for this show. We do have a little bit of a backlog again, which is very good, but of course I will always ask people if you have forts that you would like me to make a video out of, definitely send them over. So one first thing that I would like to point out is up here we see an old fortress. Now, I really like seeing these. It means that they started over in one portion of the fort and then moved somewhere else. You can see, like, I guess, old bedrooms and probably some other old constructions, as well as some space down here where I guess the fort once lived. And I really, really like that because it kind of gives you like an immediate little vision of the fort. Now, I will note that there is still a water source here, which means the dwarves are still bringing their soap over here made out of dogs and are using that well. So if that's not intended, just keep that in mind. You might want to move stuff as things happen. We do have a little power supply here that's been set up, as well as some water wheels. Of course, these water wheels appear to be largely frozen. And then over here, we have the surface fort itself. Now, I do really like this pattern to the point where I actually kind of want to look at it in ASCII because, you know, there's something about just seeing these kind of circular patterns, especially with like lava moats in ASCII. They always stand out to me. So just take in those colors for a second, will you? Now, reminder to everybody in the experimental branch, you can zoom in and out in ASCII, so that will be coming to the main branch soon, TM. So I'm looking forward to that, especially so that those people playing over on Bay 12 on the vanilla classic game will be able to, you know, access that feature. So around the edges, we have these bauxite bridges, which look very nice next to the lava moat, as well as outer walls. There's kind of a central barracks here. It looks like it's overlapping a second barracks, but there is a central barracks here, as well as some animal training zones, as well as why can I not read today? The Nature of Lakes, which is a farmer guild, which of course, you know, has these little windmills around, which do appear to be attached to things. I was about to say, I'm not sure if they're attached to things, but they definitely are. We have a partially under construction library because this fortress was sent in as an under construction thing. Around the edges, we have these lovely wall pieces. I personally would wall off these chunks with either walls, windows, or something, because stuff that is very tall could vault up there or alternatively scramble up the walls. While these are block walls, meaning they are smooth, and not rock walls, meaning they are rough and easy to climb, keep in mind that creatures that are talented in climbing, or alternatively larger creatures, could either jump or just simply climb up here. So it's a bit of a liability there. And as we move up, we can see that there is a tiny little hospital here and an office as well. And then we can move up to this upper layer, which isn't currently being used for anything. And this is the top of the fortress up here. Beautiful looking fortress. I really like these surface layers. Now, something that they do mention is that they're having trouble with miasma from backpacks. Now, there's two easy ways to deal with this. It's not really a bug, it's more just like a behavioral issue, which I guess is kind of a bug. If a dwarf is messy and they don't have enough space to store their stuff in their bedroom, if they're in the military and they have backpacks, they will leave food on the floors in their bedroom, meaning that it'll rot, right? And this will cause miasma in bedrooms. Now, one way to fix this is when dwarves are not on training duty, simply put them on no orders, and they'll keep their they'll keep their armor on, or alternatively go into edit underneath any of these settings. And when you go into edit, you can set it so that they equip always. Now, basically off duty, edit, equip always, they'll keep their backpacks on. If there's food in their backpacks, they'll keep their backpacks on. So that's my quickest, easiest fix for dealing with miasma from backpacks. I don't think it's a huge issue. It's never something that's been really bothersome to me. I usually just don't give my dwarves backpacks anyways because I don't actually need them. But so either sell off all the backpacks or alternatively just make sure that they can't equip food, or that they keep their backpacks equipped with food in them. I just went backpacking, so, you know, I speak with experience. We have some surface farming going on down here. And then as we move down a layer, we kind of have this central pen pasture area, as well as a lovely little temple in the middle. And then around the edges, we have more pens and pastures, as well as farming. I love the variety of colors down here. It's beautiful. And then as we move down, we have our storage zone for bars and blocks, as well as logs and some furniture and a few other things. And then we start getting down to the bedroom layers. So we do have some beds that are scattered around everywhere, one with some grass in the corner that needs to be sorted, and then all of these other bedrooms. Now, just would like to note that if they do have chests in their bedrooms and they're in the military and they aren't a messy dwarf, they will leave their food in the chests, which will stop the miasma. And I'm just noting that none of these bedrooms have chests nor cabinets, which are two things that are important. They've gone with the kind of sectioned off workshop design. This was a very popular strategy in the old days. Every single workshop with its own room with tiny little stockpiles around each one, simply because if a dwarf would fail a mood, it was very easy back in the days to just simply lock the door or build a wall. I don't like this strat. It's not something that I go out of my way to do. It feels kind of cheap. And I prefer big open spaces in my forts, as you may know. But it is a very effective strategy, that being said, and just because I don't do it doesn't mean it's not a legitimate strat by any stretch. Down here we have a really big mist generator, which appears to still be under construction. But once it's finished construction, it will pump water in this circle here. So in order for this to work, it will need 2 of 7 water right here in the corner, and then should just pump in a circle, right? Lovely setup, looks great, just, you know, needs its power to be completed. But it is getting there. Over here we have a little complicated pump setup for lava. Now this, of course, is being powered by up here, I assume? Yes, so which none of this is working because it is all frozen currently. But this here lava is pumped up from the magma sea for these forges down here on the bottom. Excellent. Love it. Love to see it. Now, I love this space, this whole temple thing. This is just phenomenal looking. I love the little moat around the edge, especially that corner there is frozen. The goose is definitely a centerpiece of this room. Really holds the room together. Please keep honking, friend. And over here we have a little tomb area. I kind of love this little iron floor overlooking all of these little tombs down here. It's got a nice feel to it. You could also go like one step further by going around and engraving all of these walls individually, but you know, you don't have to be too fancy about it now, do you? Over here appears to be a little prison. Now, pro tip, you see how there's 2 different prison cells right here? Well, if you delete both of these and grab this and zone the whole thing as a dungeon, they will consider all of these to be separate cells. So every single chain or cage within the large dungeon space will be considered separate. So you don't have to worry about individually designating those. As we continue to move down, we see the base of that prison over there, and we can see our lovely pump in the middle, and we can move down a little further and a little further. Then we have spaces that have been mined out, and I think that this is mostly just mined out zones. Yes, mostly just mined out zones. So very much, you know, a fortress in flux. It is moving from one portion of the fort to another portion of the fort, and things are still under construction, but coming along quite nicely. Now, it does seem to be a little short on bedrooms currently, so I'm sure a lot of these dwarves are still starving for spaces to stay and live more permanently, and I'm sure they can't wait to get into the fortress itself. But honestly, I think that the centerpiece of this fortress is this surface area. This is a lovely pattern. I really like the look of this. You just need to work on a few security issues with this fortress, but aside from that, really like this surface layout, and keep making cool forts, friend. Thank you very much for sending in the fortress. If you'd like to see more forts like this or more Dwarf Fortress than you could reasonably watch in a lifetime, check out this YouTube channel, and occasionally you will be subjected to my hiking photos when I post them. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.